Yeah, my name's Ben. I moved here to Tasmania when I was 11. My rock climbing's waned and I've sort of always had a love of the ocean, and I've been snorkeling a lot around Tasmania and combining that with surfing.
And you're right into bike riding as well.
And yeah, recently I've just started, in the last few years I've started cycling, and I love my lycra and cycling up, cycling up mountains. And last year was the first time I did the round the bay in a day cycle, which is in Melbourne, and that was about 210 kilometres, and that was the longest I'd ever cycled in one day, and it was quite a big challenge for me. And it was great to do that with some friends who'd been previously to sort of push me on at times when you're feeling pretty knackered. But I'll never forget it. In the last sort of 20 kilometres of the ride, I had this sort of sense, a euphoric sort of sense in my body that I'd hadn't really experienced before. It was just an amazing, happy sense of being alive.
And through achievement, do you think?
Well, through achievement, I don't know how it came upon, but there was a stage where we're all sort of flagging a little bit, and something just chemically clicked in my mind.
Euphoric?
It was a euphoric sort of sense, and I just found energy to just lift my tempo from sort of 25 kilometres up to 35 kilometres per hour on my bike. And
but you all had to cycle together as a group.
Well, kind of. Well, there was sort of 4 of us in our little Tassie group, and there's 16,000 people on the whole circuit.
Wow.
So there's little groups all over the road.
That's a lot of people, isn't it?
There's a lot of people, but it's spread out over 200 kilometres, and there's a lot of timings, and people go different ways and things like that. But in those last 20 kilometres, we just had this spurt of about 10 kilometres of just sprinting, having this almost... yeah, it was a euphoric experience. I'd never experienced it doing anything physical before, really, like rock climbing or surfing or anything. And I wonder if it'll come back again. But it was, it was quite a positive experience, and I've now started to get a lot out of cycling. And
so, what do you think triggered it? Like, do you know there's a particular lead up, or what do you think?
Well, I think it was the sense of achievement and the work that had been put in beforehand, the training, and then to experience it with some close friends and to see the end goal in sight, I suppose just triggered this euphoric sort of sensation. And then for 10 kilometres, the 4 of us just went as a pack and just bolted down the road, and we sort of laughed about it afterwards, like, how did we just get that energy out of nowhere? And we were just smiling and laughing at each other, just thinking this is awesome.
Isn't that amazing, like how things can accidentally manifest without you really knowing how? You probably wanted to feel that, but you weren't actually. Yeah, you didn't know because you've never had that happen before, and that's quite interesting.
And I think the other thing I like about cycling is just moving at a tempo similar to nature in a way, and it's all, you're getting to a place or to a destination or along a journey by your own means, and you can sort of smell the sensations, and you can sort of hear the birds and the wind and so on. I think it's just a great little pastime.
I have the same philosophy in that, actually. Like, you can really the aesthetics of being, you're almost like you're a small part of a bigger whole, aren't you?
Oh, totally, yeah. And the same goes, I mean, that's one of my enjoyments of any outdoor activity, is because you do get to that tempo of the world, and especially with surfing and just being out, especially on early mornings, watching the sunrise over the headlands or whatever, and there's maybe not a breath of wind, and it's just amazing light, and just sort of hearing every little ripple and piece of water trickling over the wave, or there's no other voices or any other noise. It's just purely just you out there on the water. And I think having those experiences allow you to have a lot more respect for the place that we've been put on, I suppose, here on Earth.